Right everyone, it is Finn here, welcome back to another video where today we're going to be talking about 10 of the best relegated superstars and where they should move to next. As we know, Leeds United, Southampton and Leicester City all got relegated from the Prem this season. And with that, so did a lot of top players. So today we're going to be taking 10 of the best players to go down and talk about where the best transfer option for them would be. For example, player number 1 is going to be Kyle Walker-Peters to Manchester City. And no, I'm not just saying that because players called Kyle Walker have a pretty good track record at Man City.
Please don't try that again.
But I truly believe that looking at 26-year-old Kyle Walker-Peters, he still goes so heavily under the radar as a modern day fullback. If you want a fullback who's got pace on him, great technical ability, can get the ball into attacking areas, and can play on both right and left back side, he is definitely going to be your man. I would argue he's been one of Southampton's best performers over the last few years, and once again an England international just proves my point. Obviously looking at Man City's current fullback situation, although the OG Kyle Walker is still a top quality player, he will eventually need a successor in that right back position. As a left back, they obviously sold Zinchenko, Cancelo is surely going to leave the door this transfer window, and obviously Nathan Ake and Lewis both playing in that position. I still think they need a top quality player, and having an England international there who's got a lot of quality in him, I think Kyle Walker-Peters suits the job. Player number 2 is going to be Harvey Barnes to Aston Villa. As we know, 13 goals in the Premier League with Leicester City this season, the top goal scorer for the Foxes in the Premier League, but as we know the team as a whole had a very disappointing season and had to go down. Saying that, I think he's a player who absolutely reeks of an Aston Villa kind of signing. Once again, top quality player, and I think playing in Europe next season, Villa absolutely need to sign a player like him. They obviously need to improve their squad depth. Obviously, that's why teams like West Ham United struggled in the Prem this season. Because playing in Europe and not having that squad depth, you kind of have to prioritize a competition. Therefore, I think a top quality manager like Unai Emery will bring in a top quality player like Harvey Barnes.
Good evening.
He's 25 years old, he will be looking to break into that England squad. And with many top clubs looking to bring in a player like him, I do think Villa is the best option as it's the one that will guarantee the most game time, but also really show his strengths as a player. I think he's absolutely brilliant. Next up, we've got Illan Meslier to Tottenham Hotspurs. Look, I've got no idea how Spurs have bottled it to this extent.
This is football heritage.
Considering last season they spent £163 million, and I still think they need a new goalkeeper, at least 3 new defenders, another midfielder, and I would say 2 more attackers. I don't know how Tottenham Hotspurs have done it, but if there's one area they really need to prioritize, it is a goalkeeper. Look, Hugo Lloris, World Cup winning captain, is just not good enough. We have to admit that. And considering between 2 goalkeepers, between him and Foster last season, only getting a combined 10 clean sheets, I think Illan Meslier is the best option. Look, I know Leeds United absolutely leaked goals into that net, but at the end of the day, they played a very attacking system, and they also had very poor defenders in front of Meslier. And only 23 years old, considering over 4 years in the Premier League, having an average of 2.9 saves per 90 minutes, he's absolutely brilliant. I think people forget that he's only 23 years old. And of course, he almost reminds me of a young Thibaut Courtois, if I can say that.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
That with the kind of structure and build he has, with his kind of very brilliant judgment, I'd say, his ability to get out of the box to clear away the ball, I do think Illan Meslier would be perfect to solve Tottenham Hotspur's solutions. Well, at least some of them. Player number 4 is a player that we all knew was inevitable. Player number 4 is a player that we all knew was inevitable to be in a squad like this, with James Ward-Prowse. Maybe the best free kick taker the Prem's ever seen.
I am so sorry. So sorry.
And looking at his numbers, there's just no way he's going to stay in the Championship. With 9 goals and 4 assists in the Prem this season, 10 goals and 5 assists in the Prem last season, and season before that 8 goals and 7 assists, this man is so talented. And in terms of defensive ability, the top interceptor and tackle maker for Southampton, he is the complete midfielder, which is why I think Brentford would be perfect for him. As we know, Brentford are building a serious project under Thomas Frank. I know they obviously need a new attacker with Ivan Toney leaving, but getting a player who can score goals and get assists and kind of get the ball forward to players like Mbeumo and Visa, I think James Ward-Prowse would be perfect for that system. Next up is maybe the best player to get relegated this season, with James Maddison. I mean, looking at a player like him, 10 goals and 9 assists to get relegated in the Prem this season is not legal. Last season, getting 12 goals and 8 assists, season before that, 8 goals and 5 assists. James Maddison is an absolutely brilliant talent, and I think he should go to Tottenham Hotspurs. Now, yes, I know he's also been linked to Newcastle United, which I think would be a brilliant option option for him, but I think he would really shine in the Tottenham Hotspur's team. I think with his current numbers, he almost has the talent of a prime Dele Alli, just without the attitude.
Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
I think he's what Dele Alli wishes he could become. Obviously at 26 years old, I think it would be key for Tottenham Hotspurs to get a player like him, because I think obviously inevitably going to lose Harry Kane in the next year or two. They do need a player with brilliant numbers behind him like James Maddison, who can almost help out the next striker to make them look even better, and I think Maddison is that guy. From one Leicester City midfielder to another, we've got Youri Tielemans next, and I think Arsenal is the solution. Look, I think he could also go to the likes of Liverpool, but I just think he's the perfect Granit Xhaka replacement. I think he's that kind of player, although underwhelming this season. Defensively can put in the workload like a Granit Xhaka, although probably less red cards than Xhaka.
Kill him now.
And on the attacking front, no, he won't score 10 goals and 10 assists every single season, but he will score that vital goal that will get you the necessary points. I think Youri Tielemans is such a class talent, just had a very underwhelming season, and if Arsenal want that squad depth to play in the Champions League next season and perform in the Premier League, I think Tielemans would be brilliant for that depth. Wilfried Gnonto to Manchester United is next. Now, I'm not just saying that because I am a United fan, but looking at Gnonto, at 19 years old, 24 appearances in the Premier League already, the best league in the world, and already a regular international for Italy. Once again, this man is definitely going places, and I could definitely see him work at United. Obviously, in terms of attackers, as we know, Wout Weghorst is set to return from loan to Burnley. Obviously, Anthony Martial, I can't see him staying another year or two, and a lot of the pressure has been put on Marcus Rashford.
You have saved our lives. We are eternally grateful.
Therefore, I think getting another striker or another attacking option like Gnonto at 19 years old would be perfect. As we know, United are building a very young system, same as Arsenal. I think he could also work there. And I think under such a young system that's doing so well at the moment, I think Gnonto could really grow, and I think that's where you're going to see the best of him. Next up is another Leeds United attacker with Rodrigo. Now, of course, Leeds United getting relegated. I'm sure even Ivan Toney could have put a bet on that.
You have lost the fans tonight.
But of course, talking about Ivan Toney, without Brentford having their star man up front with 20 goals this Premier League season, they desperately need another attacker. And looking at Rodrigo getting 13 goals in the Prem last season, I know he had a massive fall off in the second half of the season, but that was after Jesse Marsch got sacked, which I don't quite get from Leeds United, allowing him to bring in players during the transfer window and then sacking him. I mean, it's like getting your girlfriend flowers and chocolates for Valentine's Day and then she dumps you on the day. It's like, well, at least tell me before I buy the flowers.
Okay.
But looking at Rodrigo, once again, under Jesse Marsch, it showed that under certain managers, he is a player who can do brilliantly well. And I think under Thomas Frank, with other attackers like Mbeumo, like Fisa, I do believe that Rodrigo is a top quality attacker and that he definitely won't stay at Leeds United in the Championship. The second last player on this list, which of course, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if there are any players I've missed in this video, do let me know in the comment section down below and let me know where you think that player should go to. But next up, it is going to be Tyler Adams to Liverpool. Obviously 24 years old, he is the US national men's team captain, and of course having a defensive midfielder who's got that great leadership, it had to be Liverpool. As we know, Fabinho had a massive fall off this season, and Jordan Henderson, the captain of Liverpool Football Club, obviously 32 years old, and that midfield looking very weak for Liverpool this season. I think Tyler Adams would be perfect. I mean, if you look at his numbers overall, what an absolute athlete this man is. In terms of attacking numbers, he is that player who can get the ball forward. Defensively, he will be nippy, he will win that ball back, he's got a lot of aggression in his game, and he can play absolutely anywhere in the field. As a defensive midfielder, he's played as a winger, as a fullback. I mean, if you want him to replace your dad who left 5 years ago for Milk, he could fulfill that role as well.
Don't give me hope.
Tyler Adams is an absolutely brilliant player, and with a worth of around £20 million, I think Liverpool need to snatch him up because I do think he could fix their midfield problems. And that takes us to our 10th and final player from the relegation zone with Mohammed Salisu. Now, of course, looking at his numbers overall, what a brilliant player he is in terms of his defensive and attacking numbers from a centre-back. He is one of the best in the world, and considering the amount of pressure put on the Southampton team, obviously, as we know, their defense wasn't great last season, but at the end of the day, Salisu himself as an individual is absolutely brilliant. In the 21-22 Premier League season, he had more interceptions than anyone else, made his Ghana debut, and even scored a crucial goal for them in the World Cup. up. I think Brighton would be absolutely perfect for him. As we know, in terms of their centre-back options, they will be playing in Europe next season, and they do need to improve their depth. They've got captain Lewis Dunk, they've got the likes of Webster in that squad. Colwell will be returning from loan, also Feltman can play in that position, so they desperately do need another centre-back, and to have a Ghanaian international who puts out the numbers that he does, I think Salisu would be absolutely transformative. Is that a word?
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Maybe it is, to this Brighton team. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, those are 10 of the best players to get relegated from the Prem this season, and where I think they should move to next. As I said, I know there are a lot of players that I have missed. I did want to stick to 10. So of course, if there are any players, let me know in the comment section down below and where they should move to. I hope that you did enjoy the video. Of course, like and subscribe if you did do so. And I'll see you guys all very, very soon. Finn, FY, double N, cheers.